everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is my second video in English, which will be about my experiences in the spiritual world. I will continue where I left off. I flew to Montenegro, landed in Tivat, picked up a couple girls, and drove 2.5 hours to Ada Bojana, which is a beautiful island. They call it, because it is yoni shaped. If you know what it is, it's the shape of the female reproductive organ. And it's a river that splits and encompasses this island, and from the third side there's the sea, the Adriatic Sea. So it creates like a triangular island, and Ada Bojana is right on the right corner where one side of the river meets the sea. It's a very powerful, energetic place. So we were driving there, and we stopped on the way to have some coffee and admire the view, and then we continued. And as we entered Ada Bojana, as we entered the festival area, just like whoo, it felt so good. I felt like the energy just engulfed me in one hit. I got a double dose of spirituality. As I explained before, I wasn't that spiritual by that time. And it was an amazing feeling. And then each of us went to set up where he was. I was in the camping grounds, set up my tent, and parked my car next to it. And then we went on to the opening ceremony, which started with a very, very touching tribute to one of the founders of the festival, Ivana. She died of cancer recently, and they always said that they said during this gesture to her in her honor that they felt her spirit with them, and there were struggles and difficulties, and suddenly they were just like disappeared, and they reached a point that they thought this festival will not happen, and then something happened, and it did. And that was a very powerful and touching gesture to in her memory. I had a video of her saying things, saying some sentences in Serbian. It was the translation to English at the bottom. And it was really, really nice. They introduced us to the festival, what is going to happen, how it's going to work, basic things. And then we had a cacao ceremony, which was really, really nice. It was about drinking the cacao not as you get it. You take it, you sit with it, we do meditation, we connect to the cacao and to the ground and to our hearts and to our soul. And only after a long, long meditation, only then we started sipping from it, slowly, slowly, sip by sip, feeling everything charged, for lack of a better word. After that, we all walked into a portal, through a portal, to enter the Ada universe. It was like a big gate with flowers facing the sunset to the sea. So we all walked through it, and we were I guess saged. I don't know what they had there, but we were like saged, cleared, and purified, and one of them was doing that, and the other was painting some kind of ritualistic paint on our faces. And then we just stood there facing the sea, looking at the sunset, just breathing in the full power of nature, of Ada, of the sea, just hundreds of people just standing there, staring at the sea, at the sunset. It was amazing. Then we slowly got back to the tent. It was in a big tent. It was called the Ada Temple. That was the main tent. Most of the big events were there, big workshops and big events. And there were 4 other tents as well, also called temples. There was the Heart Temple, Source Temple, and Passion Temple, and Authenticity Temple. These were a little smaller tents, but still big enough to contain like 30, 40 people. So each of these temples was where the workshops were held. Basically, every day there were several workshops throughout the day, in different hours, in different tents, different temples. So this is how it worked. And then I think there was dinner, and after dinner there was another kind of a ceremony, which was the ceremony to find our pod family, which were the people that we will be together and share experiences with throughout the festival every morning. I will elaborate on that a little later. Basically, they told us just to walk around the tent. It was also in the Ada Temple. Look at our toes. And then look at others' toes. And then when the time is right, just stop in front of someone, connect the big toes together, wiggle them, wiggle. It was really funny, really nice. And connecting these toes meant to be really close physically together. And then look up, look at each other's eyes, say your name, and back to moving around. The next round was connect the little pinky. And that was even closer and more intimate. And also connect there, wiggle, look up, look at the eyes, say your name. And then we had a mission that each of us find the 2 people that were connected with him, which means one of us. If I had one person, I needed to find the other person as well, and they need to find the person that is common to them. And that was something like that. I don't remember exactly how it went, but somehow we formed groups of 4. Each group is the pod family from now on to the end of the festival. And the pod family was sitting every morning together, sharing experiences from the past day, and then go on each to his own workshops or together, whoever wanted. My pod family is contained of 3 wonderful women and me. One of them is Ophélie. She has the most magnetic eyes I've ever seen in a person before. Never seen something like that. We could feel each other in a room full of people, and if there was a direct line between her eyes and mine, my eyes would lock directly, zip, like a magnet, directly to her eyes, and we would find each other. It was an amazing experience. And there was Vanessa, which was the most energetic woman I've ever seen. She had an injured knee, and yet she was dancing like she didn't care. And you couldn't be next to her and not suddenly fill up with energy and be like, yes, woohoo! It was an amazing thing. And of course, my soul sister, Deborah, which I'm in touch with till this day. And I will stay in touch with her because she's my soul family. She's my soul sister. I will also link to her YouTube channel in the description below, because I think everyone has something to gain from her channeling and light language that she's doing. I will link her TikTok account and her YouTube account as well. Say hello to my cat. His name is Khatul, which Khatul is cat in Hebrew, and his name is Khatul. The equivalent would be cat. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Yes. So he decided he wants to be in the video as well. So here we go. He was in the Hebrew video also. Always like to interrupt. Anywho, continuing. I find it hard to remember most of the workshops I've been to, because there was one workshop of one person that hit me the hardest. It was the workshop that actually changed my life in this festival. It was a workshop of Petra Brzovic. And Petra, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your last name correct. I'm trying, but I hope I'm doing a good job. I will link her YouTube channel also. It's mostly in Croatian, but there are some English clips there and meditations, which is good. Really good meditations. So Petra was doing a workshop of a kind of a breathing meditation. It's like 2 in, 1 out, from the mouth to the belly, in a rhythm, with shamanic drums in the background, in the same rhythm of the breath. It was like this, and that we did that for 30 minutes, and then a quieter, more calm meditation, also guided by her, always talking, always making sure that we know that we are safe, and in that meditation, she asked us at the beginning to set an intent, something that we feel that we want to heal or fix or whatever, something that we need to solve, maybe each in his own or her own intent. I was thinking about something. I'll tell you the truth, I do not remember what it was, because it wasn't what I needed to feel. In that meditation, there were like maybe 10 or 15 people. And we were all crying at the end of the breathing session, really crying. Most of us were crying. Some of us were louder. Some of us were not as loud. Some of us laughed. So there was an outburst of emotions because of that meditation, breathing meditation. And I was crying also. And I realized from that session what was the most injured or issue, the biggest issue that I had in my life. And I realized it was not what I was thinking, because I don't remember what it was, but it was loneliness. That even though I have friends and family, I felt lonely. Always had this feeling of loneliness. And it was heartbreaking. I couldn't stop crying. And That was a big revelation for me. I couldn't I couldn't understand why I felt that. I just understood that this is what I feel. This is what eating at me. So the next day, I actually went with Deborah to the second workshop that Petra facilitated, and it was a past life regression session. It rhymes. And in that session, it was not with the breathing like in the first workshop. It was more calm, or lying on our backs and closing our eyes. And basically, she took us through to our childhood memories and then to past lives. This is how it went. And the thing is, I realized something that I already knew, kind of in the back of my mind, that when we went to childhood memories and she asked us to find like a happy childhood memory and go back to it, I couldn't find one. I have no conscious happy memory of my childhood. All the memories that I do have from my childhood are bad memories, are traumatic memories. The very first one, the earliest one that I have is, I guess, from the age of 2, I think. My parents were at home and there was a babysitter. I was asleep and the Cookie Monster came to get me. So I woke up and started to cry. The babysitter came, picked me up and took me to the living room. And in the hallway, there were pictures on the wall, but they had no frames. It was just glass and paper with like clamps. And I pointed at one of the pictures and I cut my finger on the glass, and lots of blood. And this is what I remember. This is the very first memory that I have. I couldn't have memories from the womb, unfortunately. I couldn't go there. I don't know why. It was blocked for me. And then when we went to past lives, also I saw darkness. There was nothing. Absolutely nothing. When she asked us to move from one timeline of past life to a different timeline, I saw glimpses of Earth history. I wouldn't say human history because I also saw dinosaurs, but Earth history, but from above. Like I'm watching it from above and I'm not part of it. I'm not in there. And it only went in the transitioning process. I mean, it was dark, moved to a different timeline, glimpse of something from the history, and dark again, and so on and so forth. And like Egypt, dinosaurs, ancient Rome, but everything from above, not as if I'm part of it. I meditated on it, and my conclusion, well, it's an hypothesis, is that I am a new soul here on Earth. This is my first incarnation. I've never been reincarnated here. This is my first one. And that connected to the feeling of loneliness. Every soul on Earth has met souls that were together in past lives. It's usually how it goes. Every soul will meet in the next life, especially if there's something unresolved, will meet same souls that she met on past lives. In this life and the next life and the next life, until something is resolved or they're supposed to be together. Either way, it's every soul has some souls that they know and they meet in this life. And I didn't have any because I'm first fresh out of the box here. I'm not a new soul because all souls were created when Source has created us, basically, created souls. But I was new here in this earth, in this lifetime. I was not on earth ever before. Now I spoke to a friend who is he's also a channeler, and he's is really strong into spirituality, and he told me that it may not be that I'm new here. It may be that I had something so traumatic in my past lives that it was blacked out, so I don't remember it, and I was becoming a watcher instead of a participant. Um, I think that's how he described it, something like that. So that also makes sense. That can be also. Because he channeled and he saw that I'm not first time here, so he said that it's probably a trauma that I blacked out all my past lives, which will need will require work and to solve this, which is part of my studies, which we're coming to in a minute. In that workshop, with the past life regression, it was supposed to be at 5 p.m., but it was in a temple that was too close to the main temple, and in the main temple there was a workshop which included loud music and screams, and like it was loud, and you cannot relax when there's like that kind of music. You cannot enter into the state of meditation with that kind of music next to you. And so in that time we were like 20, I think, people in that tent. So we all rose up and said, okay, together with Petra, and we decided that we will do this workshop later on after dinner at 8 in a different temple, a little farther away from the main temple, because the main temple had all the louder workshops, because they had there the big speakers and sound system. And so we set the time that we will meet at I think it was the Heart Temple at 8 after dinner. We will all meet there. So we did, and suddenly you could see in the WhatsApp group, because it wasn't planned and it wasn't in the schedule, and no one talked about it in the morning. Whatever it's called. Sorry. In the morning guidance of what's going to be. I don't know how to call it. Because it was set on the spot with us, between us and Petra. It was decided, so it was not updated anywhere. And suddenly in the WhatsApp groups, everyone like, what's going on in the Heart Temple? What's going on? I don't see anything that's supposed to be there. What's going on? And people start coming and coming and coming and coming. And I think we became like 40 people, easy, in like that. And it was really, really powerful. The next day, Petra was supposed. By the way, in that day, in the earliest workshop that we cancelled, that we postponed, actually, there was an assistant named Ozzy. He was handing out flyers of Petra. She has a retreat in Croatia, so he was handing out the flyers of that retreat. And on the other side of that pamphlet, there was the Sankara Academy, and it wrote that it's a 2-year plan of studies to become a therapist. It's mostly about healing trauma. And as I saw this, this is what I am here for. This is my purpose. This is what I need to do. This is who I need to become. So I took it and I enlisted. I'm still in contact with Petra. I will link also, I think there's a link to the Academy website, so I will link it too. So this is where I found my purpose. That workshop that was postponed before, and it was an amazing feeling. It was on point. I flipped it, I saw that, and bam, that's what I need to do. It was like directed to me. Anyway, Petra was supposed to leave the next day, and fate wanted it, and she didn't. So she made another breathing session, a workshop, which I, of course, went, and I took Deborah with me because Deborah was not in the first breathing session. She was only in the past life session. I took Deborah. I told her, "You have to be in that. We have to be in that." And so we went, and in that workshop, she was starting to explain what's like she did in the first one, what's going to happen, what she's doing, what we're going to do, and she was almost finishing, and people just came and kept on coming and kept on coming and kept on coming. I think that time we were like 50 people, easy, if not more, and people just kept on coming, and she couldn't. I think like twice or three times she was actually had to restart the explanation for the new people that came until a certain point that she said, "Okay, well, catch on," basically, because she can't repeat it. We will not have time for the session if it will keep happening. And in that session, in the breathing session, my hands rose up on their own. The body is doing, in the breathing session, the body is doing what he wants. You move sometimes, sometimes you don't. You fold up, you curl up like a fetus. The body does what he does. You have no control over it. And my hands just rose up in the air. I was lying down, my hands rose up in the air, and they were like scanning all the people and taking energy and returning energy and like circulating the energy. At the end of that session, my hands were burning. It was almost painful. It was not painful. It was a good feeling, but it was like almost painful, but in a good way. I don't know how to describe it. They were like, I felt the energy surges in my hands, in my palms. Like I turned to Deborah. I said, "Can you try to take some of that for me?" And we held hands for a moment, and I think it was a little bit too much for her, so I disconnected that, and it wasn't enough. I still felt it, and like I had to. Then I just sat on the ground and put my hands on the ground, and I grounded the energy, and like, whoa, 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 and that was very powerful. And in this session, I have another purpose that I have in this life, which will be elaborated in a separate video, the next one. And this is only part one. I have much more to tell about this festival, but I really wanted to get that one out, about the experience that actually changed my life in this festival. And this is it. Until next time, have a good day.